Hey guys, it's Christina. How's it going? Well, I'm sure we've seen those two different types of classrooms where the kids are super bored, they don't want to be there, they seem like they're falling asleep, and they're just like counting down the minutes until the day is over. And then we might have seen that other classroom on like the opposite side of the spectrum where they seem super engaged, they love to be there, and they're excited about learning. And I just want to give you guys some tips today on how you can boost your classroom engagement. Let me just say this, I have definitely seen students in my classroom, on both sides. I want to say most of the time they've really liked school, being in my classroom, and they've been, very happy and stuff. But I have definitely seen my moments where they've been bored, or I just see them falling asleep. And like some years it was like harder to get them excited to learn. Well, this year I've seen some huge changes and it's really exciting. I can tell the kids want to be there. I can tell that they are like really pulled into the lessons and excited about the topics we're talking about, and they're like actively participating. So I've definitely seen both ends, and I know more of like what to do to get them more engaged. One of the first areas that I think is so important and sets the tone for so many things is your attitude. I mean, we're the ones that are standing in front of them all day. I mean, hopefully not all day. Hopefully they're doing things on their own of course, but we're like the ringleader of things. And if we're bored and we seem like we don't want to be there, they're probably going to pick up on those kinds of vibes and feel it themselves. But if you seem excited and you're excited to be there and excited to teach them, you're excited about the topic, they're going to feed off of that. So I think our attitude is so important and how we feel about things. And of course we have bad days, but if we can maybe leave some of those things at the door and think about the topic at hand and really like put things into that and excitement, the kids will feel that. Okay, so besides my attitude, I built this whole foundation at the very beginning of the year, like the first 2 weeks, and it was all growth mindset. I'll actually link some videos in the description box. One of them is all about growth mindset, but I dedicated a lot of time to teach them what growth mindset is and how they should be using it in the classroom. And I think that really like laid that foundation for them. And ever since then, they and I try to like point out to them, okay, if you are a person with growth mindset, you're not going to give up and you're going to keep trying. Or if you have growth mindset, you're probably one of those people that's going to use your time wisely, not try to waste it, different things like that. Now I can use it throughout the whole year, and it like pulls engagement, or it boosts engagement with them because they're trying to be that type of a learner. One thing that really clicked for me at the end of last year, and I can't believe this took me so long to get this part down, but our classroom should be more student oriented. The students should be doing a lot of work throughout the day. It shouldn't be us like putting on this huge performance and doing all this stuff. It should be a lot of like things that they should be doing and engaging in throughout the day. So for example, I do pretty short lessons throughout the day. And when I keep them short too, they're gonna be more like wanting to listen to it because they're not gonna be sick of like hearing me talk all day. So for example, when I start off my math lesson, or my math like block, I guess, I start with a quick 10-minute lesson. And I just teach the core of whatever I want them to know for math that day. And then I have a list of things they go through and do. I have videos they'll watch that have been pre-recorded. They have like little activities they'll do to go with the topic. They'll go through and practice some of the problems on their own. I have keys ready for them to go through and check things. And it pulls them in more because they're taking ownership, they're more invested, and it's more like they're doing a lot more work than what I should be doing throughout the day. And when I heard that, I was like, man, that would actually be kind of nice to have things that way. And it has been nice, and the kids, like I said, are just more pulled in. Another great thing is for extensions. Like let's say they really have a math topic down, I have a list of extensions for them to do. By the way, I didn't come up with all these little ideas right here. My team helped with this as well. But we have extensions. Like I have a kid that actually helped me teach a small group. And I said, okay, these are some of the problems you can go through and do. And he was kind of close to me. And he just went through and they all practiced place value together. And I think it like really pulled him into that topic and them as well, because they're like, wow, like one of our peers is teaching us. It was really fun. So making things student-centered is just really great for them. Another thing that will really pull your students in more is to make things more hands-on when you can. I know it's hard to do that for every single lesson, but when I get an opportunity to do that, I will definitely do it. Like for science. If I'm just lecturing them and having them just sit there, they're probably not going to find it as exciting. But if I have them actually doing experiments and like working through things hands-on, it pulls them in more and it gets them more excited about it, and they're actually like working through that instead of just hearing about it. So I think that makes things more exciting, is to do hands-on whenever you can. I think using music and art whenever you can is going to be really helpful and make it exciting for them. So as far as music goes, I really love finding videos on YouTube that go with the topic. I love to find funny videos or songs or different things to help them teach about a topic. It always catches their attention and I feel like they're paying attention more. And sometimes it's really catchy too, and it makes them, you know, think about certain parts of the topic more and remember things. So I think music is really great. Also, what I'll do as they're working is I'll turn on some focus music. There's so many great playlists of focus music on YouTube that I will go through and play for them. And I feel like that makes them more engaged too. It just creates this atmosphere of like learning. And if I was to play music that was like louder and more like, I don't know, not as like calming and, you know, helping them to focus, I think it would be hard to like keep them on track. But focus music helps so much. I also use art when I can in my lessons. So I like to have them sketch out different things they might be picturing, or I also might have them look at certain pictures for things and then use writing to go with it. I just think music and art are really valuable to put into your lessons and make those more exciting for them and engaging. Another thing that is so great and that will help them to really like immerse themselves in a topic is to have them play games. It could be games that they're playing with just a partner, a group, games that you can play as a class, but it makes it fun for them. And I know some of them might be competitive, I know I am. And so for me, that like pulls me more into things when something's a game. And so I think that's a really fun thing to do when you can with your lessons. Another thing that's so important is to make sure the stuff you're teaching them is actually something that's going to be useful or meaningful to them. I know us as adults, if something doesn't have meaning to it or it doesn't seem like we're ever going to use it, we don't want to learn about it. And kids are the same way too. So I try to stick to things I know that will be really useful to them. And I try to relate it to them in a way where they will use it one day. So I think that's really important to do as well. And a really good thing to do also is to pull in their interests. So at the beginning of the year, I have them fill out a whole getting to know you sheet so I know a lot of their interests. I also try to like listen to some of the things they have to tell me, and I'll like really look at their work and see what they like, and I'll try to pull that into lessons. So with reading, I'll try to pull things I'll know they really will like to read or that really interests them, as well as writing topics. If it's something they're interested, they're going to want to work with that more. So I think that's really good. And also giving them a choice too for a lot of things. Like for math, we'll have like 3 in a row, and they get to choose out of like these 9 squares, and they get to pick 3 things they want to do in a row. So if they're making a choice of what they want to do, I think that makes it a little bit more fun for them as well, because again, they're taking that ownership of their learning. Another thing we really need to make sure we're doing as teachers is to challenge them and make sure our lessons actually have rigor. I know for me, sometimes I'll think, okay, I have to make this super simple to make sure all of them understand it. And I mean, of course, like we don't want the whole lesson to go above their heads, but there's certain, like we really need to make these lessons more challenging for them. Like we need to ask questions that really get them to think, using vocabulary that actually relates to their grade level, doing things like that that's really going to challenge them and put more rigor into our lessons. And I think to go along with that, it's important for us to differentiate. And if a student is lower and you think they might not understand a certain topic, we can give them tools so that they can reach that. It's so important for us to teach with that rigor so they're not bored or thinking it's way too easy. Last but not least, I think we need to be at this really high level of time use and knowing all of our time that we have in the day is valuable and that it has meaning. I know for me, some years, like I'll just get tired and I'll just be like, okay, we're done with the math lesson, so we have 5 minutes, so maybe I can just have them do, like, I don't know, we just need to cut back on all that fluff and make sure we're like using all the time wisely. And I've really trained my class this year to do that. And one way I've done that is on the board, I actually have an I'm finished list. And I always tell them when you're finished, you can go right to that list, and I make sure it's updated and it's things they really need to make sure is done, or I have things on there for kids that might be fast finishers that they could do next. And these things usually relate to the topics at hand. So that way I'm not just giving them busy work, it's actually stuff that's meaningful and we're using their time wisely. And to go along with that high level of time use, when I am doing my lessons, I try to find different ways for them to participate and not just sit there. And so I'll do things where they're passing one thing to the next person, or I have them go in a circle and they have an inner circle, outer circle, and then the inner circle moves down one and talks to each person, or I'll do like little groups and one becomes the expert and then teaches the next group. I mean, there's so many different things you can do. And if you want a video on that, let me know. I have a lot of ideas, but using our time wisely and well is also gonna make our classroom more engaged, or our class more engaged. All right, well, those are some ways that I have tried to boost engagement in my classroom, and it has been so awesome. And it really like gets me excited to teach every day, because I've had those years where I'm like, oh, another day, here we go. But I'm hoping we can all feel that excitement about teaching and our kids can feel it as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.